Welcome back to art class. Today we're going to wrap up our self-portraits. Last week we finished the coloring and drawing of the hair. I saw some really great pictures for that that you turned in for me. This week we're going to wrap this up. You're going to want to have a couple things. Obviously you're going to need your picture. I have my self-portrait and then I have a girl version. One thing you want to make sure you have is if you got colored pencils. The other thing you may want to actually have is colored crayons. The reason being is often a lot of people have like a 24 pack, which is a bit more color choices than what you can get with colored pencils. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. A couple things. First, let's talk about finishing up the face here. So what I recommend is that you actually use brown to do a little bit of outlining. And this doesn't really matter for anybody's skin tone. Brown is really the color that's best to do this because everybody has a certain level of brown in their skin. So what we're going to do is you're just going to outline the nose with a brown colored pencil. Same thing, I'd like to outline the ears, the bottom of the jaw. And one thing I did notice on a few people is you may want to make sure your ears are round. Some people made square ears and people don't really have square ears usually. Most of them are round, so you may want to make an adjustment on that. And then you also want to outline the neck. Okay, same thing with the girls here. You're going to outline just the bottom of her ear. That. Okay, next, for the boys, while you have the brown out, I recommend just kind of outlining the lip. We don't generally use red for boys. It tends to bring a little too much color contrast to the lips. It makes it look a little too feminine, so we're looking for brown. For the girls, you may need to do red, pink, whatever color makes sense to you for the lips, and then lightly fill those in. So for this, we'll just leave it blank for the boys for right now, and I'll explain that in a minute. But girls, you'll need to fill in the lips since you're working there. Okay. Another thing that we want to work on is my pencil put away. The top of the eye and the eyelashes for the girls. You want a black for that. All right, next, eye color. You'll have to know your eye color or ask your mom and dad to look at your eyes and give the color that it is. You may have to mix colors. So there are people with blue eyes, there are people with brown eyes, green eyes, and then we have hazel eyes, which can be like a yellowish, orangish color. So it's something that you'll have to work on a little bit to figure out what it is. You can even just look in the mirror and see if you can figure it out. For me, I have blue eyes. So I am going to do blue for this one. And I'm not going to worry about the pupil, the black center. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the eye with the one color. If you want to give it the black center, you can, but it's not necessary for this picture. Sometimes putting that black center in really kind of creeps people out. So. And I'm going to give this girl brown eyes. Okay. Next, I want to worry about the skin tone. Okay, skin tone is where it gets a little complicated for some people. You can use, this is where the crayons come in really handy. Most crayon packs that are 24 have a apricot or peach color. That works pretty good for skin tone. It's pretty close. We don't want to say white because if you put my hand on here, look at this. I am not the color of this paper. So I have a little bit of brown and other colors mixed into my hand. So this is fairly close. If you have a very light brown, maybe your skin tone is got a little bit more brown in it. Light brown would be a color to do as well. What I often do is I don't always use the crayon, but it's really handy. That's why I'm recommending it for those that want to use it. I'll use a brown. I'll hold my pencil way back here, and what I'm going to do is anywhere there's skin, I got to stay away from the eye. So I'm going to leave the eye area actually blank white, because you know the whites of your eye. But I'm going to go in and super light, barely touching the paper. I actually like to use a brown because when I'm in the summer, my skin tans a little bit, and that's when I like to think of myself as, you know, a little bit tan. I'm just going to add a little bit of brown straight up. But again, peach will work great. The apricot color works pretty good. If you have a darker skin tone and you have a color that's closer to it, you may use that. Okay, so I'm going to show you half and half. So like this half has been colored, this half is just pure white. You can see that this half is much closer to my actual color on the hands. And notice for the boys, I'm actually just going over the lip area. I'm not having to color it in with a separate color. In typical fashion for most drawings, like comic books and cartoons and things like that, you won't see that they color in the lips of the guys very much. So that's why we get to leave it just with the same color as the skin. You got to be careful when you're doing this not to go into the eye area. You do need to do your ears because your ears have skin. And you do need to do your neck. This is part that people forget all the time. They end up leaving this white. It looks like your skin has been painted. Like that. So for her, I'll give her a little bit darker skin tone than what I have here. All right, so once your skin tone is done, then what I want you to do is give your shirt a color or color. So you could have a striped shirt. You just need to fill in your shirt. So okay, I'm not going to go ahead and do that one. I don't want to waste our time. But you, if you're a girl, obviously need to do a nice, good shirt. And then what I'd like you to do is add something to the back of your picture. It could be that you're outside, that you're busy playing. Maybe it's snowing, or maybe you're in your house playing Xbox. I don't really know. Maybe you're reading there's a chair in the back where your favorite book is. Or maybe you're at dance class, and so that might be in the background. Just kind of fill in the background with a little bit of an image that you want. Don't make it too complicated. You don't have a lot of space. So just kind of keep it simple. Okay, so once you get done doing the actual self-portrait, you're going to work on something that in the background that you would be doing. Make sure it goes like behind your head. And when you're done, snap a photo of it and upload it to Seesaw. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.